Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Officer DeMartin with Carlisle Borough Police. The Carlisle Police Department today filed murder charges against Davone Anderson, 25 years old, of East High Street here in Carlisle. On July 5th, the Carlisle Borough Police responded to 137 East Lather Street, Carlisle, in response to a 911 call reporting a suicide at that location. Police found Sydney Parmalee, 23, dead from a gunshot wound to the head. An examination of the scene and subsequent interviews led the police to launch an investigation into the cause of Parmalee's death. The police investigation into Parmalee's death eventually revealed that Parmalee did not commit suicide and instead determined that she died as a result of a homicide. On July 30th, 2020, prior to the determination of Parmalee's cause of death, the Carlisle Police Department again responded to 137 East Lather Street. This time, the response was for a report of cardiac arrest. Inside the residence, police officers located Kaylee, 23, in need of serious medical attention as a result of a gunshot wound to the head. Lyons was taken to Hershey Medical Center, where she died as a result of her injury on July 31st, 2020. Lyons was 6 weeks pregnant at the time of her death. The investigation into Lyons' death has determined that she also died as a result of homicide. Police allege that Anderson killed both Parmalee and Lyons. Both women were romantically involved with Anderson. Anderson also fathered children with both Parmalee and Lyons. For further information concerning the allegations in this matter, please refer to the affidavit of probable cause filed with criminal charges in this case. Anderson is charged with 2 counts of first-degree murder, 1 count of first-degree murder of an unborn child, 2 counts of endangering the welfare of children, 2 counts of person not to possess a firearm, and 1 count of theft by receiving stolen property. Anderson was arraigned this morning before Magisterial District Judge John Burbeck. Due to the nature of his charges, no bail was set for Anderson. He remains incarcerated in the Cumberland County Prison pending the resolution of his charges. Anyone with information concerning the death of Sydney Parmalee and Kaylee Lyons are encouraged to contact the Carlisle Police Department. Tips can also be submitted through our Crime Watch or directly to the investigating detectives Klinger and Miller. At this time, I will turn it over to Chief Deputy District Attorney Sean McCormick.
Good afternoon. Again, my name is Sean McCormick. I'm the Chief Deputy District Attorney here in Cumberland County. I want to start off by thanking the Carlisle Police Department for the investigation that they have conducted and continue to conduct in the deaths of Sydney Parmalee and Kaylee Lyons. This case, as you heard, began on July 5th, 2020, when the Carlisle Police responded to 137 East Lather Street in response to a 911 call, which reported what we were told at the time was a suicide. The fact that it was reported as a suicide became a critical fact that we had to deal with as this investigation began. At the time of the autopsy, in order to make a determination whether this was a suicide or a homicide, additional tests needed to be done. And those tests, in fact, were just completed over this past weekend. That case is a homicide, and murder charges have been filed against Mr. Anderson for the death of Sydney Parmalee. As you heard, July 30th, 2020, at the exact same address as the July 5th death of Ms. Parmalee, the police were called this time to a report of a cardiac arrest. Very quickly, the police were able to determine in this case, because of a gunshot wound to the head, that it was not a cardiac arrest that put her in the state that she was in. She was alive and she was taken to Hershey Medical Center, but unfortunately she died on July 31st, 2020. The police in this case on July 30th, 2020 made an arrest of Davone Anderson as a result of a report that had been made of a stolen car. The car that was stolen from Miss Lyons, and it was reported after her death. He was arrested on that charge and placed in the Cumberland County Prison. On July 31st, detectives from the Carlisle Police Department interviewed Mr. Anderson, and at that time, Mr. Anderson made two critical statements during the course of a search warrant that was being served. One being that I killed Sydney, and the second statement being that, and I killed Kaylee also, or I killed Kaylee too. That has led to the police today filing the charges, as you heard, 2 counts of murder in the first degree and 1 count of murder in the first degree of an unborn child, because there was a third death here as Miss Lyons was 6 weeks pregnant at the time of her death. Again, I want to thank the Carlisle Police for their investigation. We have Detective Miller here present today, Detective Klinger, who are the lead, and the detectives who filed the criminal charges. I also want to thank Nicole Vito, who is a senior assistant district attorney who has worked very closely with them on all the legal aspects that go through the course of an investigation like this. I will at this time turn it over to the Chief Carol Landis.
Good afternoon. First of all, to the Lyons and Parmalee family, please accept our deepest condolences from all members of the Carlisle Police Department and the Carlisle community at large. I wish you to remember what this situation is about. It's about these 2 young ladies. This is what this is about. It's Parmalee and Lyons. While I'm very, very pleased with the relationship with the Cumberland County District Attorney's Office, the work of Sergeant Friedman and the detectives and Ms. Vito, the reality here is that we work for you, and this is what it's really about, these 2 young ladies. And our deepest condolences to the families. We work tirelessly whenever there's a loss of life here in our community to work for the benefit of everyone else. At this time, we'll open it up for any questions that we can't answer to you.
Chief, did the confession and the investigation by your officers reveal anything that would lead us to understand why these 2 young women are dead?
No, it's a myriad of reasons, and to be honest with you, they both seem senseless to me. But we can't give you a reason yet. We're still investigating.
Does it appear to be, at least on the surface, a case of domestic violence?
Yes.
Did these 2 young women know each other?
Yes, both graduates from Carlisle Area High School. 2014 graduate from Carlisle Area High School.
And Chief, what is the significance of the 137 East Lowther Street as it pertains to this case? Were these 2 women living at that location?
Well, one of them was.
Which one?
Lyons.
And what was the other one doing at that residence?
I can say this, at this time, anything that we're able to comment on concerning the investigation itself is in the criminal complaint and the affidavit of probable cause. Anything beyond that, unfortunately, as much as we may want to say certain things, we are not able to say anything publicly about those things. So I would encourage you to read the affidavit. The affidavit goes into good detail about a lot of the questions that you may have. Unfortunately, we just can't answer every question.
It may be early for this, but on the part of the district attorney's office, is the death penalty under consideration?
When it comes to the death penalty, that's a decision that will be made after the preliminary
Okay.
hearing, so no decisions have been made concerning that at this time. Again, that's something that is down the road, so we have to take care of the preliminary hearing, and then we see where we are.
A follow-up on the shooting case. Did your investigation ascertain whether or not both these young women were shot in the head with the same weapon?
We would not want to reveal that at this time. We would rather not reveal that as part of the investigation. Anyone else? I'm shaking my head like this.
If I just say one more thing. When he was arraigned today, he was arraigned before Magisterial District Judge John Burbeck. No bail is set in this case. In Pennsylvania, with the charges of first-degree murder, he's not eligible for any bail, and he is currently still in the Cumberland County Prison at this time.
I'd like to thank each and every one of you for coming in for this press conference. The reality here is that we really can't do what we do without all of you. You know, you're putting out information, and we're very appreciative. Although it may not seem like it all the time, but really, you know, sincerely, that we can't do it without you. Thank you very much.